You were, I understand, up late waiting for Santa to come.
With an idea.
How late did you come?
That's right.
How late were you up with this last night?
Well, I knew that I wanted to create some sort of non-tree Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I originally thought I was maybe going to create something that I was going to put on the wall.
Yeah.
And I was just lying in bed, and all of a sudden I got the idea of creating an actual 3D physical tree using chicken wire. So I showed up today and I was like, hey, Dave Lowe, do you have any chicken wire? And of course he was like, your wish is my command.
I mean, it's amazing.
And we that's how this structure is built on the inside. So it's really, really cool. The structure, if you remember, it's kind of similar. Do you remember the big Christmas tree gown that Kim and I did last year for Christmas?
Amazing.
There it is.
Have that?
Yeah. So see the one in the far back corner there? That one in the far back corner, the base of that was chicken wire attached to a dress form, and that's how we built it. So that's kind of what gave me the idea. But I got working on it this morning, so we can take a look here and see how the actual structure came together. Now that's an upside down coffee table. That was just a little round end table that I used as a structure. And I wrapped my chicken wire around it. So you're gonna need, if you're gonna make a tall one like this, you're gonna need 2 levels of chicken wire that you're gonna wrap around. Next, you take your burlap and you're gonna cut it in half. My burlap was folded in half, which is why it looks like 1/3 and 2/3, because when I open it, those will be even, see? So that's just to explain why it looks like I was cutting unevenly. Now, my fabric was 91 inches and my tree was 67. So I knew that I had about 1/3 to play with the weaving of it and kind of the gathering of it. So you take a yarn needle and some yarn, and you basically go in and out. This first one I did, I realized was actually too big. You wanna make your stitches really only about 4 inches apart. I made them 6 and it just didn't look as good. So you're gonna do them about 4 inches apart and you knot them off. That way when you pick it up, each ripple stays in place. If you don't knot it off, the whole thing will collapse. So there you go. See, now on top of the chicken wire, I just used these little wires. We just cut all different sizes of wire and looped it around. And then the excess of my needle and thread, I went up and I just kind of stitched them closed. That way you couldn't see inside and see all that wire in there. And now I thought about making a bow, and so I took white burlap. Yeah, and I just was kind of trying to play around with that idea for the bow. At first I did it all white. You can see the one I did. I ended up adding a little pop of blue in there. But that's really how you can create a big fancy bow like that. And then next you take your materials and you're very unelegantly just sort of shoving them in there. You're gonna cut little holes if you need to for the flowers that are bigger, and you're gonna push it in and it's gonna be held in place by that chicken wire. And so everything's just kind of pushed in and laying in place, and you work your way around.
It's so rustic and beautiful.
Yeah.
I honestly, I mean this, I feel like I could walk down 5th Avenue and see this in Saks' window.
Easily.
That makes me so happy, because the thing that I think is really cool, well, actually there's one thing I want to mention. As I was walking, I knew I wanted to put lights on it, because we thought about even if you did a little miniature one, this would be a really beautiful, like in a little girl's room. Could you do a miniature one? You could do a miniature one. You just don't need that double. This is one piece of chicken wire and another one on top of it. So if you just did one and angled it into a cone, you could do a small one. But all of a sudden I come out and I'm like, there's no branches to hang them. And so I was like, So then what we did, and this is what you would do before you put your fabric, we lifted this whole thing up and we wrapped the wire around the chicken, the lights around the chicken wire so it glows from within. So if you're doing this at home, you're gonna want to wrap it around the chicken wire first and then put all your burlap on top. And to basically put all these little things in place, there's a few things I wanna show you. So
can I ask a real quick question?
Please.
Any lights? Can you use the hot?
No, good. You know, we should use like LED lights that are going to stay cool because they're sandwiched inside that fabric.
Yeah,
so you're going to want
that heat.
Exactly. So the LED lights are a really great option for that, nice and cool. So you need wire cutters. This is how you're going to be able to cut. You know, I bought big bunches of fabric and I cut little pieces off here. So just so you can see, you got to put a little muscle into it, but nothing crazy. Just regular wire cutters will.
I got a couple of cousins over here.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, hey, flex for you.
We got the muscle for you.
Yeah, you go.
Which one wanted dodgeball? Because that's probably whose help I
All right.
You know, I was going to give you a compliment. The only thing I see here is that you have no needles to pick up. which is
Isn't that fabulous?
Yes.
And being that I took my tree down in April last year,
Good, you're one of
like
those,
most
are you?
people,
One of
I
those.
set it up on time. I just had it
Exactly.
right
Good.
there. Exactly.
So
like
I
to
just want to
celebrate
show
all year
real quick,
round.
kind of close up here. So if I wanted to put a flower in here, this is these little holes that naturally exist work with the feathers because they're nice and skinny. But this is a little bit too thick, that little stub there. So all that you want to do is pinch your fabric and just cut a tiny little slit, and it's going to give you just enough room to poke that inside there.
Sure.
And you kind of get it right into the chicken wire.
How long did this take?
Well, I started it this morning.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So like I'd say Monica and Props helped me a lot. The two of us together did it in about 2 hours. I'd
I mean,
say.
that is impressive.
That's if you're
Yeah.
solo,
Yeah.
3.5.
But
I
you
mean, that's not bad
invented
at
it.
all.
No.
You invented it as
Yeah.
you went. 'Cause you
We
had to
did.
undo some
Yes,
stuff as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Very true. There's one more little detail I want to show you guys. So I liked these little ornaments because they fit with the sort of rustic vibe and they jingle and they're just super cute. And Monica grabbed these. These are actually paper clips. She got these at a craft store in the paperclip department. Who knew there was such a thing? So what I did is I just looped it through here. And if you use it, you can actually kind of
Put
just
it through the
pierce
fabric.
fabric.
Oh,
and
Orly.
twist it a little bit, and then it
Yeah.
hangs.
How much did this
This is
cost?
fantastic.
Orly,
This-
top
This
to
was
bottom.
right around $100 for everything. So our burlap, I would recommend getting at least 5 yards of burlap. And it's around $5 a yard. So it's
Yeah.
like $35. And then, I bought some flowers and the chicken wire. So right around $100. But it's a statement piece. So it's one of those things where maybe instead of going and buying a tree and decorating, this is your focal point, your statement piece.
Right.
I mean, and then you could probably store it just like this and use it next year.
You know what I would recommend? Actually, if you end up doing this and you love it, I would this is all sort of connected on top. I would just lift all the fabric off and save it. And then either build a new chicken wire if you have somewhere to store that chicken wire. But all of this can be saved and folded into a little box.
You can leave it like this if you're in LA. If you're in New York, you take it apart, you put it away. And
Yeah, you don't have the space. Yeah, exactly.
By the way, you should know this. They hate that noise.
Who's they?
Who?
The spirits. The ghosts.